I stood at the front door longer than I should have, staring at the paint I remembered choosing 3 years ago. "I'm home," I called out, forcing a smile before anyone even saw me. Emily appeared in the hallway. She stopped walking when she saw me, like she needed a second to recognize my face. "You're early," she said. "I told you my flight was this morning, right?" "Yes, of course. I just thought you'd call first. I wanted to surprise you." "Surprise," she repeated, but her voice felt thin. I stepped forward and hugged her. She hugged me back, but her arms didn't tighten. They just rested there. "I missed you," I whispered. "I miss you too," she said quickly. Too quickly. I pulled back and looked at her. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Just tired. More tired than the guy who just flew 16 hours. She gave a small laugh. "You always joke when you're exhausted. And you always overwork yourself when I'm gone." "I managed," she said. The word manage sat between us like something heavier than it should have been. I walked into the living room and set my bag down. The couch was different. "We got a new sofa?" I asked. Emily nodded. "The old one broke. It lasted 10 years and chose to die while I was away." "It was time," she said. I ran my hand along the fabric. "You picked this without me. That's a dangerous level of independence. I sent you pictures. At 3 in the morning. I thought it was a joke. You said, 'Looks good.' I also once said instant noodles were a good wedding anniversary dinner. You know not to trust my midnight opinions." She didn't answer. She just folded a blanket that didn't need folding. I heard footsteps behind me. "Well, look who finally came back," Daniel said. I turned around. "You sound disappointed." He grinned and pulled me into a hug. "I got used to being the favorite son. You were always Mom's favorite. You just had to wait for me to leave the country to admit it. Someone had to take care of things here. I sent money for that." "Money isn't the same as being here," he said. I studied his face. "You've been spending a lot of time here." Emily spoke before he could answer. "Daniel helped with repairs. And errands. And stuff." "Stuff," I repeated. "Yeah," Daniel said. "You know, life." I nodded slowly. Life must have gotten complicated. Before either of them could respond, Mom walked in from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. "You're here," she said softly. I smiled. "You sound surprised, too." "I just didn't hear the car. I took a taxi." "You should have called," she said. That's what Emily said. Mom glanced at Emily, then looked away. "You must be hungry." "I could eat," I said. "But first, can someone explain why everyone is acting like I showed up unannounced in my own life?" Daniel chuckled. "Jet lag is making you dramatic. I spent 3 years in another country. I earned some drama." Emily sat down. "You're reading too much into things. Then give me something to read that makes sense." She sighed. "Nothing is wrong." "Then why does it feel like I walked into the middle of a conversation that stopped when I opened the door?" "No one was talking," Daniel said. "That's exactly what I mean." Mom placed a glass of water in front of me. "Drink. You always think better after water. That's your solution to emotional confusion." "It worked when you were 10. I was confused about math homework, not my entire family acting strange." Emily leaned forward. "We're not strange. We just adjusted while you were gone." "Adjusted," I repeated. That word again. Daniel sat across from me. "You left. We adapted. That's normal." "I didn't leave. I worked. For us." "We know," Emily said quietly. "Do you?" I asked. Silence followed. I rubbed my eyes. "Okay, let's reset. I'm tired. You're tired. Let's just talk like we used to. Tell me what I missed." Daniel shrugged. "Same town. Same people. Same problems. That's not an update. That's a weather report." Mom asked, "How was the job?" Long, loud. "Worth it." Every day, I kept thinking, just get through this year, then I go home. Emily looked down at her hands. "I counted birthdays," I continued. "Anniversaries. Holidays." I kept telling myself it meant something. "It did," she said, barely audible. "Then why do I feel like a guest?" "You're not a guest," Daniel said. "Then stop treating me like one." Emily stood. "I'll start dinner." "I can help," I offered. "You don't even know where things are anymore," she replied. "That was a joke, right?" She didn't answer. Daniel cleared his throat. "So, how long are you staying?" I stared at him. "I live here." "Yeah, of course. I meant before you go back." "I'm not going back," I said. The room went very still. "I finished the contract," I added. "I told you that." Mom's fingers tightened around the towel. We didn't say it was permanent. I wanted to tell you in person. I'm home. For good. Emily slowly sat down again. For good? She asked. Yes. That was always the plan. Daniel leaned back in his chair. Plans change. Not this one. Another silence. Longer this time. I try to laugh. Okay. Someone say something encouraging. Like, we're happy you're back. That would be nice. Mom gave a small smile. We're happy you're back. Emily nodded. Yes. Happy. Daniel added, sure. Welcome home. I looked at each of them, searching for something that matched the words. I thought this moment would feel different, I admitted. Ow, Emily asked. I imagined noise. Questions. Maybe you yelling at me for being gone so long. Not this careful politeness. We're just tired, she said again. You already used that excuse. Maybe it's still true. I leaned back in my chair. Then let's try one honest sentence each. I'll go first. No one stopped me. I was scared you'd stop needing me while I was gone, I said. Emily's eyes flickered. Daniel looked at the table. Mom whispered, you were never not needed. Then why does it feel like you all learned how to live without me? Emily answered, because we had to. Her words weren't sharp. They were worse. They were calm. I nodded slowly. Okay, that's fair. But I'm here now. So we figure out together again. Yeah, Daniel said, though he didn't sound convinced. Together, Emily echoed. Mom reached over and squeezed my hand. You're home. That's what matters. I held on to that sentence, even though something inside me didn't believe it yet. I looked around the room that was supposed to feel familiar. The walls were the same. The photos were the same. But the space between us felt different, like someone had quietly rearranged everything while I was gone. I guess, I said, trying to smile again. It might take a little time to feel normal. Emily nodded. Yes, time. Daniel stood up. I should get going. You just got here, I said. I've got things to do. Important things? Just things. He grabbed his keys. Come by tomorrow, I told him. Sure, he said, already halfway to the door. Mom went back to the kitchen. Emily started chopping vegetables with more focus than necessary. I sat there listening to the sound of the knife hitting the cutting board, steady and distant. I'm really glad to be back, I said. Emily didn't look up. I know. I watched her for a long moment, waiting for her to turn, to smile, to say something more. She didn't. And for the first time since coming home, I felt like I had arrived somewhere I didn't fully belong anymore. I told myself it was just the exhaustion talking. But deep down, I knew something had changed while I was away, and whatever it was, no one was ready to tell me. I woke up earlier than everyone else, still stuck in the wrong time zone, staring at a ceiling that felt unfamiliar. Jet lag, I muttered to myself. That's all this is. I walked into the kitchen and opened the cabinet to grab a mug. It wasn't there. I checked another cabinet, then another. Since when do we rearrange the kitchen? I asked out loud. Emily's voice came from behind me. Since last year. I turned. Last year. Yes. It made more sense this way. For who? For me. I'm the one who used it every day. I nodded slowly. Right. That makes sense. She poured coffee without asking if I wanted any. You don't make 2 cups anymore? I asked. I didn't know when you'd be back. I told you the date. You told me a lot of dates over 3 years, she said quietly. I leaned against the counter. Emily, talk to me. Not like this. Just talk. I am talking. No, you're answering. That's different. She didn't respond. I tried again. Did something happen while I was gone? No. Did I miss something important? No. Then why does every conversation feel like it's missing the middle? Her hand tightened around the mug. You're overthinking. I spent 3 years working 12-hour shifts. Overthinking was my only hobby. She gave a small smile, but it faded fast. Daniel walked in, already dressed, already energetic. Morning, he said. You're up early. My body thinks it's afternoon. He laughed. You'll adjust. I hope so, I replied. Because right now, I feel like I'm visiting someone else's house. That's just because you've been gone, he said quickly. I watched him open the fridge like he owned it. You've gotten comfortable here, I said. Someone had to help out. I appreciate that, I said. Really, but I'd like to know what help out actually means. Fixing things, paying bills, normal stuff. I was sending money for that. And we used it, Emily said. Ow! They exchanged a look. A lot of expenses came up, Daniel answered. What expenses? Repairs. Maintenance. You know how houses are. I know how our house was before I left, I said. Emily stepped in. Why does this sound like an interrogation? Because I don't understand what's changed. Everything changes in 3 years, she said. Not values, I replied. Daniel checked his phone. I've got to head out. You always this busy? I asked. Lately, yeah. With what? Just work? What work? He hesitated. Projects. I frowned. You hate projects. Well, people change. He left before I could ask more. I looked back at Emily. What projects? She washed a clean plate. Ask him. I am asking you. It's his thing. Since when do we have his thing involving my house? She turned off the water. Why are you making this difficult? I'm trying to understand my own life. You're tired, she said. Get some rest. I didn't come home to sleep. I grabbed my keys. I'm going out. Where? She asked. To see if the rest of the world still makes sense. I drove across town to the one place that always felt unchanged. Marcus was at the auto shop, arguing with a customer. I told you, he was saying, if you ignore the noise, it doesn't magically fix itself. Sounds like my life, I said. He turned, blinked, then broke into a grin. You're actually back. Disappointed? Only that now I have to charge you for advice. We hugged, hard and familiar. You look exhausted, he said. I feel like I landed in the wrong timeline. That bad. Something's off, Marcus. He wiped his hands and leaned against the counter. Sit. Talk. I don't know where to start. Start with the part keeping you awake. I exhaled. They act like I'm a guest. Daniel's always there. No one explains anything clearly. Marcus didn't look surprised. That reaction worries me, I said. I didn't say anything. You didn't have to. He hesitated. Things shifted while you were gone. Shifted how? I figured they'd tell you themselves. Tell me what? He met my eyes. You really don't know anything? Marcus. He sighed. Look, I don't want to be the guy who blows up your first week home. Too late for that. Just be honest. I saw Daniel handling a lot of your affairs. Financial stuff. I straightened. Handling how? Paying contractors. Meeting people. Talking like he was running things. Running what? That's what I assumed you knew. I didn't authorize anything except basic bills. Marcus crossed his arms. Then you should probably ask more questions. A memory hit me, standing in the desert heat overseas, taking an extra shift. Why are you doing this to yourself? A coworker had asked me back then. So my family never has to worry about money, I had answered. Now that answer fell hollow. I trusted them, I said quietly. Marcus nodded. Trust isn't the problem. Silence is. I need facts, not feelings. Then go see Mr. Lewis. Our lawyer. He's been involved more than usual. Involved in what? Marcus gave me a look. You need to hear that from him. I drove straight to Mr. Lewis's office without calling. His assistant tried to stop me. Do you have an appointment? No, but he knows me. Mr. Lewis stepped out, surprised. You're back. Apparently, I said. We need to talk. He led me inside and closed the door. What can I help you with? He asked carefully. I want to know why my brother is involved in my finances. His expression didn't change, but his silence said enough. So it's true, I said. He was assisting, Mr. Lewis replied. With what exactly? Managing certain transactions while you were abroad. I never approved that. You signed a limited authorization before you left. For bill payments. Nothing else. Mr. Lewis folded his hands. Situations evolved. That's a vague sentence. Try again. There were investments. My stomach tightened. What investments? Opportunities presented by Daniel. I don't invest in opportunities I've never heard of. He believed he was acting in the family's best interest. Believe? I repeated. Past tense. Mr. Lewis opened a folder, but didn't slide it toward me yet. Mr. Carter, he said, choosing his words slowly. You need to review these documents. I didn't reach for them. Just answer one question first, I said. Do we make money? He didn't speak. That's all I needed to know, I whispered. I finally pulled the folder closer. Numbers. Transfers. Losses. My name was everywhere. Decisions I never made. Risks I never agreed to. I looked up. How bad is it? Mr. Lewis exhaled. Recoverable, but significant. I let out a dry laugh. I worked 3 years straight for this. I strongly recommend discussing this with your family before taking action, he said. Oh, I'm going to discuss it, I replied, standing up. My hands felt cold, but my thoughts were suddenly very clear. When did this start? I asked. About 18 months ago. 18 months. That meant while I was sending voice messages saying, just hold on. I'm almost home. I closed the folder. Thank you for your honesty, I said. I wish the circumstances were better. So do I. I walked out, gripping the documents, feeling like the ground under my life had shifted, and I had just now noticed the crack. I stepped into Mr. Lewis's office, the papers from yesterday still clutched in my hand. His eyes flicked to me, calm but guarded. You asked to see me, he said. Yes, I said, dropping the folder onto his desk. I need everything. No filters, no excuses. He sighed, leaning back. You already know a lot. I don't know the truth. Not the full truth. He hesitated, then tapped a few keys on his computer. It's complicated. Daniel and Emily made some decisions regarding your investments. What decisions? I demanded, my voice rising. The folder yesterday showed losses. That's not a decision. That's a disaster. He rubbed his temples. Daniel believed he was protecting your money. Emily went along because she trusted him. I froze. Trusted him? Over me. They thought you were unreachable. Abroad, focused. They wanted to act fast. I laughed bitterly. Act fast. They wiped out 3 years of my life without even a phone call. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Then what was it supposed to be? I asked, pacing. Tell me, Mr. Lewis, what's the plan Daniel and Emily had in mind? He pulled a document from the folder. Daniel convinced Emily to invest a significant portion of your earnings into a family business. What business? I demanded, gripping the edge of his desk. Something that never existed, he admitted. A front. Daniel lied about returns, and Emily, wanting to protect the family, trusted him. I felt my chest tighten. You mean to tell me my wife invested my money in a lie, and my brother, my own brother, was the liar? They didn't think of it as lying, Mr. Lewis said carefully. They thought of it as helping. Helping. I spat. Helping themselves. Helping destroy everything I worked for while I was gone. The debts are significant, he continued. The bank. I know the debts, I said sharply. I have the statements. But I want to know why my family thought this was okay. They didn't want conflict. Your mother, Helen, she advised them to keep peace, thinking it was temporary. She didn't realize how bad it would get. I swallowed hard. Mom knew. Yes, he said softly. She hoped it would resolve itself before you came back. I ran a hand over my face. My throat was tight. And Emily? She trusted Daniel because she felt abandoned, Mr. Lewis said. You were gone. She felt overwhelmed. I sacrificed everything. I shouted, everything for this family. And they just did this behind my back. He said nothing. I need to hear it from them, I said finally. I need to confront them directly. I need to see their faces when they realize what they've done. Mr. Lewis nodded. I can arrange a meeting. Emily, Daniel, your mother, they'll all come. I left his office with the documents in my hand, driving home with a storm in my chest. Every red light felt like a judge, every turn a reckoning. When I arrived, Emily was watering the plants. You're home early, she said, glancing up. I need everyone here, I said. Now, all of you. We're going to talk. She froze. Talk? About what? The truth. Daniel appeared behind her, grinning nervously. What's up? I'm done pretending, I said. Sit down. Now. Emily glanced at Daniel, then back at me. Carter, please. No. Emily. Sit. Mom. Come here. Mom appeared in the doorway, wringing her hands. What's happening? Sit, I said. All of you. It's time. Rachel, Daniel's girlfriend, was standing by the counter, folding laundry. She looked uneasy. I'll stay. Just if this gets ugly, I'll mediate. You'll mediate? I asked. Or you'll spill secrets? I'm only telling the truth, she said quietly. I felt a flicker of hope. Someone willing to tell the truth. I sat down and slammed the folder on the table. Daniel, explain this. Every penny that went missing, every investment you made in my name. Explain. Daniel swallowed. I thought it would grow. I thought it could help the family. I didn't. You didn't what? I demanded. Destroy everything I worked for? Emily's voice trembled. Carter, he just wanted to... No, you wanted to protect yourselves. You wanted control. And you lied to me, to everyone. Mom whispered, Helen, please. I trusted you, I shouted. I left for 3 years, worked my hands to the bone, thinking my family was waiting, not scheming. Rachel finally spoke. Daniel has been like this before. Manipulative. He convinces people he's helping, and they follow. Daniel flinched. Rachel, I'm telling the truth, she said. Emily, you should have known better, but Daniel pressures people. He's always been like this. Emily cried softly. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I trusted him because I thought he had my back. Your back? I asked. He broke my back. My life. Our home. Our future. Emily sobbed. I'm sorry. I was scared of losing you too. I didn't want to make it worse. Worse? I spat. Do you understand what worse is? 3 years of sacrifices gone. Gone. Mom finally spoke. Carter. Mom. You knew, I said. And you stayed silent. To keep peace. Peace. Is this peace? Helen's eyes filled with tears. I thought it would resolve itself. Resolve itself? I repeated. How could it resolve itself? I'm here, and it's worse. Daniel's voice cracked. I didn't know it would get this bad. I wanted to make things better. For whom? I asked. For you? For Emily? For me? I thought for all of us, he said. I didn't mean. I shouted. That's not enough. Emily buried her face in her hands. Please don't hate me. I don't know if I can forgive either of you, I admitted. I really don't. Rachel stepped forward. You need proof? Talk to Ms. Carter at the bank. She knows everything. Daniel's patterns. Every false investment. I pulled out my phone. Fine. Give me the contact. I want to see this with my own eyes. Daniel's face went pale. Carter, please. You don't need to. Not your call. I snapped. Give me the evidence. Now. Mom covered her face. Helen, this is so painful. I stood pacing. I trusted you all. Every message, every plan, every sacrifice gone. And the worst part is, it wasn't malicious in a simple way. It was betrayal disguised as care. Emily looked up, tear-streaked. Carter, I'm done with excuses, I said. I want clarity. I want accountability. And I want to know why my family turned my life into a gamble. Rachel handed me a card. Call her. She'll explain everything. I read the number, my hands shaking. Thank you. I sat back down, exhaling slowly. This is a lot to take in. I thought my home would be the place I came back to. The place I fought for. The place I could rest. Instead, it was a courtroom. Every glance, every lie, every manipulated trust was evidence against them. Mom whispered, Carter, I need time, I said. I need a process. But I also need answers. Complete answers. And I need them today. Emily nodded silently. Daniel avoided my gaze. Rachel gave me a steady look, the only one willing to meet my eyes. I leaned forward, fingers pressed against the table. Let's start with the investments. Every number, every transfer, every promise Daniel made. I want it all. And I want to understand how the people I love the most could make choices that ruined what I fought to build. The room went silent, save for my ragged breathing. The truth had finally surfaced, but I already felt the weight of the next step. This wasn't just money lost. This was trust shattered, and no amount of explanation would fix the hole they had dug. Yet I needed answers, and I was ready to demand them. I picked up the folder, ready to dissect every page. Every lie, every manipulated number, every betrayal. Start talking, I said. Now. I packed my bags in silence. The house that once felt familiar, now a gallery of betrayal. Emily appeared at the doorway. You're leaving? Yes, I said, holding the zipper of my suitcase. I need space. Space. Her voice trembled. Is this because of Daniel? Or me? Both, I admitted. It's everything. I can't breathe here. She stepped closer. Carter, please. We can work through this. I can. No, I interrupted. I need to figure out who I am outside of the mess you all created. Outside of Daniel's lies. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I'm trying. I really am. I know you are. But trying isn't enough right now. Daniel appeared, leaning against the wall. You think you can walk away and fix it all? I'm not fixing it, I said. I'm reclaiming my life. He shook his head. You don't understand. I had to do what I did. You weren't here. I sacrificed every day for you to be here. I shouted, and you used it to build your little empire of lies. Rachel appeared from the kitchen. Carter, calm down. Fighting won't help. I'm not calm, I said. I'm done being quiet. Mom stepped forward, wringing her hands. Carter, please. I need to go, I said, closing my suitcase. I love you all, but I can't stay here until I know how to love myself again. I drove to the apartment I'd rented, the silence of the empty space, both comforting and sharp. Marcus called that evening. How's it feel? Different, I admitted. Free and broken at the same time. That's normal, he said. You've been hit hard, but freedom is the first step to rebuilding. I don't know where to start. Start with what you can control, he said. Finances, boundaries, yourself. I nodded, staring at the wall. I'll call Dr. Nolan tomorrow. You need someone to talk to professionally, Marcus said. Not just friends. I'm tired of being angry, I said. But I'm tired of being weak too. The next day, I sat across from Dr. Nolan. I don't even know where to begin, I confessed. Start with what hurts most, he said gently. I trusted them, I said. I trusted my wife, my brother, my mother. And they all betrayed me. Not maliciously, but in a way that destroyed everything I worked for. Dr. Nolan nodded. That's a complicated grief. Betrayal layered with love. It's normal to feel conflicted. Conflicted? I laughed bitterly. I feel like a fool. Like I let 3 years of work and trust slip away. You didn't let it slip away, he said. You weren't in control of their choices. But you can control your response. How? I asked. Do I confront them? Cut them off? Take revenge. Revenge is temporary, he said. Control is lasting. You need to reclaim your life, piece by piece. I stared at him, thinking about Marcus's advice, the apartment, the silence. Control, that's something I can have. Over the next few weeks, I set boundaries. I separated my finances, closed joint accounts, and opened new ones. I reviewed every transaction Daniel had made, every debt, every investment, and I started making small moves to regain control. Emily came by one evening. Carter, can we talk? I gestured to the couch. Sit. I miss us, she said quietly. I know I was part of the problem, but I want to make things right. I don't know if love is enough, I admitted. I don't know if it ever was after everything. I'll do whatever it takes, she whispered. Actions, not words, I said. Right now, I need space. Proof, not promises. She nodded. I understand. Daniel called, panicked. Carter, the bank. Everything's collapsing. They're asking questions. People are talking. I didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean for it to happen. I repeated. Do you realize what that phrase feels like to someone you betrayed? I just wanted to help. I thought I was protecting the family. I trusted you to respect it, Daniel. Not gamble it away. I know. His voice broke. I'm trying to fix it. I swear I am. You should have thought before you acted, I said. Now the consequences are yours, and you'll deal with them. He didn't respond. Later, I met Mrs. Grant, my old neighbor, at her small garden. She offered me a cup of tea and a smile that didn't require words. You look like someone who's been through a storm, she said. You could say that, I replied, sitting beside her. Storms teach you things, she said. They wash away what's weak and leave you standing stronger. I hope I can stand stronger, I said quietly. You will. One choice at a time. One step at a time, she said. Just keep walking, Carter. I walked back to my apartment, feeling the weight in my chest, but also a strange lightness. For the first time, I wasn't running from anger. I was choosing what I wanted to become. Dr. Nolan had told me to journal every night. I wrote, I won't be a victim of their mistakes. I'll build myself. I'll control my own life. I'll learn to trust myself again. Some nights, Emily texted. Some nights, Daniel called. I responded sparingly. I was polite but firm. My energy was mine. I met Marcus again. So, how's the reclaiming going? He asked. Piece by piece, I said. It's slow but steady. I feel capable. Finally capable. That's progress, he said. Don't let the past dictate your future. I won't, I said, but I will let it teach me. One morning, I walked through the park, feeling the cool breeze on my face. I thought about Daniel, about Emily, about Mom, about Rachel, about betrayal, about lessons, about control. I whispered to myself, I am choosing who I become next. And for the first time in months, I believed it. Daniel's voice cracked when I called him to the apartment. Carter, I need to explain. I'm listening, I said, arms crossed. I was jealous, he admitted. You were gone, doing things I couldn't. Everyone looked up to you. Everyone trusted you. So you betrayed me because you felt small? I asked, disbelief twisting my stomach. I didn't know what else to do, he said. I thought I could fix things. I wanted to be important. I didn't want to be left behind. You weren't left behind, I said. You were given a chance to grow with us, to build together. Instead, you destroyed trust. I'm sorry, he whispered, tears running down his face. I really am. Sorry doesn't undo anything, Daniel, I said. Do you realize the mess you made? The debts, the lies, the stress. I know, he said, voice barely audible. I'll pay for it. I'll do whatever it takes. You will, I said, because that's the only way forward. The law, the banks, it won't forgive like I might someday. Emily stepped forward. Carter, he's being honest now. Maybe we can. Not yet, I said, turning to her. Not yet. I need to hear it all. Daniel nodded. I manipulated numbers, lied about investments, hid losses. I thought I was helping. I wanted to be the one making the choices. You wanted to control everything I worked for, I said. Not help, not guide, but control. I see that now, he said. I see it. And I'll take responsibility. Whatever comes, it's mine. I leaned back. The anger was still there, hot and raw, but now mingled with something else, clarity. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was the one choosing the next step. Mom appeared, tentative. Carter, I should have said something. I thought keeping peace would help, but I see now it made everything worse. Mom, I said softly, I can't ignore that. But I also can't carry bitterness forever. I need to decide who I want to be from here. I understand, she said, tears glistening in her eyes. Can you forgive me? I looked at her, breathing deep. I will try, but forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It just means I'm not holding it against you forever. Emily stepped closer. Carter, I want to rebuild, if you'll let me. I know I hurt you by trusting Daniel, by staying silent when I should have spoken up. You hurt me, I said quietly, but I also know you were scared. Scared of losing me while I was gone. I can't punish fear, but I can't ignore it either. I understand, she said, and I'm willing to work on us. Honestly this time. I nodded slowly. Actions matter more than words. We'll see, but I'm willing to try, cautiously. Daniel's shoulders slumped. I don't deserve your patience, he said. No, I said. You don't. But you will face consequences, and that's part of it. Legal, financial, everything. It's not about revenge, Daniel. It's about accountability. I'll pay, he said again, voice trembling. I'll fix it as much as I can. You will, I repeated. But know this, fixing it won't restore trust automatically. It'll take time. Rachel stood quietly, observing the family drama unfold. He's being honest, she said. It's a start. I know it's a start, I said. But it's not an end. Not yet. Later, I called Ms. Carter at the bank. I need everything documented, I said firmly. Every transfer, every debt, every false statement Daniel created. She responded promptly. I'll send it all. You'll have proof for yourself and for legal purposes. Thank you, I said. Hanging up, I felt the weight on my shoulders ease slightly. Evidence in my hands made the chaos feel more tangible, more manageable. I spent the next few days alone, reading, writing, reviewing documents. I wasn't angry all the time anymore. I was calculating, methodical. I decided how to protect my assets, how to separate what belonged to me from the destruction Daniel caused. Marcus came over one evening. You're quieter than before, he said. I've stopped reacting, I said. Now I'm deciding. That makes all the difference. You look stronger, he said. I feel stronger, I admitted. Not vindictive, not bitter. Just clear-headed. I know what I have to do. Good, he said. Anger can motivate, but clarity sustains. I nodded. I realized that. I can't live in rage. I need to move forward, even if it means distance from people I love. Emily came to visit that night. She was hesitant, careful. Carter, I want to try again. Try again, I repeated. We'll see. But it has to be real. Boundaries. Truth. No hiding, no silences. I understand, she said. I promise. We talked for hours, confronting our past mistakes, acknowledging love, but not ignoring the damage. I told her my fears, my anger, my hopes. She told me hers. I don't know if we can go back to what we were, I said. Maybe we don't go back at all. Maybe we create something new, she said. Maybe, I said. Something built on honesty, not fear or convenience. She smiled faintly. I'll do my best. I walked to my balcony later, looking at the city lights. Daniel's consequences were unfolding. Legal notices, debt repayments, calls from bankers. He would survive, but he would feel the weight of his actions. Quiet justice, not dramatic revenge, but the natural outcome of choices made. Mom called. Carter, I'm sorry. Truly. Can you forgive me? I told you, I said. I can. Slowly. But forgiveness doesn't erase what happened. I just choose not to carry it as a burden. You're strong, she said. I have to be, I said. For me, for the people I love, for my own future. Some nights, I sat alone, reflecting. The betrayal, the lies, the near collapse of my life, they were still there. But I was learning not to let them define me. Rachel called one day. Daniel's finally taking responsibility. It's something. Yes, I said. It's enough. I don't need vengeance. I need clarity, and I have it. The apartment was quiet that evening. Emily and I didn't speak much, but the air felt different. Less tension, more possibility. I realized love alone couldn't fix everything, but honesty and effort could. I spoke aloud, even though no one was around. This is my life now. I choose how to live it. I choose what to carry and what to leave behind. I thought of Daniel, of Mom, of Emily, of Rachel, of Marcus, of Ms. Carter. Each had their role. Each had contributed to the chaos and, in their own way, the resolution. I breathed deeply, letting the night settle around me. The weight of consequences was heavy, but it was balanced by clarity. Survival wasn't about avoiding pain. It was about facing it and deciding what comes next. I can do this, I whispered. I will do this. I'm not who I was 3 years ago. I'm not even who I was last month. I'm me now, and I'm choosing me. I felt a calm strength settle into my chest, the kind that comes from standing upright after falling hard. Tomorrow, I would begin rebuilding with boundaries, dignity, and self-respect. Not the life I left behind, but a life I create consciously, deliberately, without letting others' mistakes dictate my path. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was finally home. Not a house, not a family, but myself.